Brenda Stella here for part 2 of the Nativity drawings that we're doing. So I hope that you already completed this one. We were doing that one upright. This next one, we are actually going to turn things upside down and see how easy it is. And actually, sometimes it helps our brain see this a little bit better when we do turn it upside down, to help us see the lines for what they are and then draw what we see, not what we know. That's why it helps us. When we turn it upside down, we actually have to draw what we see, not what we know, because we might not even be able to make out what we're drawing. So if you are drawing on a spiral pad, you will probably need to turn to a fresh page so that you can have your spiral at the top, even though we are drawing it upside down. So you're going to need your pen and your PDF file that you have downloaded and printed off. What I want you to do is go ahead and lay it down on the table upside down. And we are going to work through this. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to find a central spot. Well, this would be a central spot, and that is a good thing, and we could do that. But what I'm going to suggest, because we're doing it upside down, I think starting as close as we can to an edge helps us see. We're going to look at the space in between here and the space between here, and this is going to help us set up the whole thing. So I want you to start by putting a dot about this far down and about this far in. So I know that's where I'm starting, and then it's going to follow down, and I know I need to end up here. So I'm going to measure it a little bit, see how far I want to be from the top of this. So those are my guideline dots. I also might have one, I know that it just pretty much arches, but I might put one more right here so that I know where I'm headed. All right, so we are going to take this, curve it. I'm going to go slowly. So this curve is the one that I'm drawing, and then I see that there's a straight line that doesn't go straight towards, it kind of goes at a diagonal. Get that in. I want to make sure I'm doing it about the same length as what I see. And then I see there's a gap, and I'm going to put a dot right there. And I see that there's another curve. It's going to come, I'm just going to do from here to here first. So it's going to come pretty close. Just curves around. And then it's going to keep curving. And I want to see how far is that going to be. That's if I go across and then up, I see that it's going to be about there. But take your time on that. Find your spot, because we are setting things up. So basically I'm looking back at it and I see that it just curves to this dot. Now I want to look at this space that's created between, I see there's a straight line that comes off of this. So I'm looking to see how far that space is. I'm going to put a dot here and then just go straight up to that line. I'm also looking here at this. I see that there is something. If I go down and across. So I've gone down this line and across. I know that one side of the hand is here, and I also see one side is here. So I'm going to curve those. And I see that these are going to come up. There's another one on this side I can go ahead and do now. I'm looking to see the distance between these two lines. They don't quite touch. And then they continue on. They do touch on this side. And I see that they come towards this line that I've already drawn, kind of in between these two lines. Okay, we have got those. Now we can come off of this line that we just drew, and we see it comes pretty close to the hand. So first we're just going to get a little short straight line there. Looking at the distance it stays from these knuckles. And then we see that it starts curving a little bit closer, but there's still some distance. It curves closer, then comes out. Before I keep going down, what I want to see is how far above this other line does this end, and it's somewhere around here. So I'm going to touch that line, and I'm going to wait for this other one because it comes awfully close to this one. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at this line that's very close to this staff and very close to this other arch. So I've got a dot there, and I want to see how this is going to curve in relation to this curve. I'm just going to do from here to here. It's a little wider. And I'm actually going to hop over a little bit. I see that just above this, there's going to be an arch there. And I'm going to go ahead and get that arch, just a little curve in there too. Once I've got that, I can kind of come up with this one. I see that it runs very similar to this other one. And yet it carries on. It carries on. So it is going to end up just below this other line that we don't have yet. So actually, we're going to go back down here. So we want to work off the lines that we've already drawn. So what I want you to do right now is actually take a look at this point. Imagine that we're just looking at this part. This is called looking at negative space. We are going to draw what we see. So it's the point comes off around here, and it gradually gets bigger right there. Now, we're going to ignore this line first because we want to get this circle, it's like an egg shape, right? The egg shape is actually not connected to the line that we just drew. It's just over from it. We're going to want to go ahead and draw that about the same size that we see it. It's touching nothing. And then after we draw that shape, then we are going to come off the side of that egg shape, touch this other one, and it's just a curve all the way around that touches. Now that we've got all this, we are set up to just go back and curve this, and we see it comes up and then it goes and touches right between these 2 points. We also have curves that come off this way, go this way. Now that we've got the body, we can do this line. So we know just up from this baby, we've got a line that starts, and we're going to look, see where it starts, see where it ends. It ends at this skinny part right here. And it's basically almost a straight line. It just connects those two. Now that we've got this in, we can go ahead and bring the curve around. And before we go any further, we want to look, how much farther does it go? Well, it goes just below this line. So if I go across here, you can see that it goes about that far. Also, we've got this line that comes up or comes down. It's just a little curve, and it's going to curve at about the same spot as the other. There's a straight line that doesn't touch the head, but it comes close to the head. So we're looking at this shape. We're looking at this middle shape that's formed. That's right here. And I'm just wanting to study it and to duplicate it. So we see that there's one line that comes off of this other, just across from the knuckle. It comes, just does a curve and goes back. And off of that one, there's a short little curved line and another line that comes up. Off of this curve that we just drew, there's another short little line. And then a curved line that comes down, and it's going to go past what we've drawn. Then we see there's another curve that comes up, and what I want to do is pay attention to the distance that it is from this line as I come around. And I want to look at the distance, how deep it is, and where it kind of comes in skinnier, and then it goes back out and ends up coming down out from this line. That shows me, let's see, this line is this one, so we've got one more line actually coming off here. It comes close, and it's just going to come up and join this outside line. now we are going to come up here and we see, or down here, we see there's a short straight line that comes off, and we're just looking at the shape that's made by those two. We can also go ahead and get this arch in. So we see this arch starts just out from the straight line. There's some space. And I want to do this about the same size as what I see. Now that we've got that, that sets up this and that sets up this. So this curve that comes off, you see it comes very close to the straight line, almost pointed down at the staff, and then it comes back up. We just want to imitate the shape that we see right here. Now that we've got that, we see there's another curve very close to the one that we just drew. It's going to come around, but before we go any further, we need to go ahead and get that little dip in, and then we know that these two just join. So let's check. Do we have this? Yes, this curve, those. We've got the straight line, got the curved line down. We've got the staff. I believe that we've done it all. So now I want you to turn your drawing right side up and look what you've got. Isn't that cool? You drew it like this, you turn it up, and you see, you really are drawing what you see, not what you know when you draw things upside down. So I want you to go ahead and put your name and your age down here, and then I want you to think about what you want to do with this. You can ask, if you need your mom's help, you can ask for your mom's help and either make this into a card or think about framing it as something that you can pull out every Christmas. So I hope that you have enjoyed these nativity drawings. These are great studies in line, and plus I think they just look really cool. So I hope you learned a little bit today, and I will see you back next time. Or see it, draw it.